Okay, I thought today it might be fun to build the SIH chart from scratch, doing something a bit different. What I'm trying to do is just try and capture a picture of the past and see if we can find some patterns in the past that we can then apply to make some predictions in the present. Okay, and what I'm using here is some action reaction lines. We've got that's an action line there. We have a middle there, and we have a reaction line there. And what we do is start at a significant low down here, and then we pick a pivot point somewhere, and we're picking somewhere that has, we're trying to relate it to what's happening today. So we've picked this pivot point here. There's some significant action there. That's our middle line at the 50%, and then at the 100%, that's our reaction line. And as you can see, that's there's been price action at the middle, resistance, retest, it's gone resistance to support, then at the 100% here at the reaction line, it's overshot, come back down, back tested, and that's where it's sitting at the moment. And what else can we do? We can also put some lines in the middle between these action and reaction lines and use that as sort of reaction, significant points as well. So we've got one at the 50, and that was a support resistance line there. And I'll delete these fibs so we don't doesn't get too busy. And I'll pick a halfway between here and here. There's a 50 there, and then we had some support resistance there at the middle there. So that's sort of given us, that's sort of framed the price action up to here quite nicely, almost freakily so. But anyway, what else can we draw? I'll then draw time, because we always want to know when things are going to go where and try and anticipate when. Because SIH, what we're charting. It's been a bit boring for the past little bit, but maybe if we have a look at the big picture, you can see that maybe it hasn't been boring so much. And what I'm doing here is I'm getting the distance between the action line down here and the middle line, and then repeating that time, creating a time back to there. And so between this pivot and this pivot, we've got this period here, and then if we repeat that period, what do you know? We've got price is at that period again, and it's actually at a cross between one of these lines and that timeline that we've drawn. Hang on, so I'll highlight those for us. Price is at the cross between the timelines. And these action reaction lines. So why don't we repeat this again? Bang. Okay, so what's that telling us over here? Well, the one sort of line we haven't drawn is if we repeat this, the distance between these lines, and draw another reaction line further up. So let's go, we'll use the fibs to help us. And what do I do? If I take, these things tend to snap to price, so I'll I'll use, no, that's not what I want to do. I want to go there, and I should snap the price there, and I'll draw on the 100% there, so bang, delete those fibs so it's not too busy. Okay, so here we see that there has been a pattern that's repeated. We've got price reacting at these reaction lines, and we've also got them reacting not only at the action lines but at where the reaction lines cross on this time, these equidistant time periods happen. So if we had drawn this early back here, then we could have, we might have predicted this here, but if it looked like it wasn't going to get there, then we could have predicted it, but it's going to be there. So that's looking in the past. So what we want to do is see how this plays out. So if we're going to have, if this trend wants to continue, there's a picture completed there, there's a picture completed there, and as this picture keeps unfolding, we're trying to anticipate that maybe the picture will complete there as well. And that would be nice, wouldn't it, at 30 cents. Okay, what else can we use? Well, I might try another some other reaction lines starting from, let's take this as our action line, and I'll color that green, and we'll take that to the where am I going to take that to the next pivot, which is, to call it there. So that's our action line. Our middle line is there, and we can see that at the middle line, same as with these red middle lines, there's been resistance. There's actually been a support resistance between these two lines here. So that's interesting. And if we go up to the top and put the green line at the 100%, we've had a touch on that 100% now. Now it's sitting back on the red line. So to me, it looks like this the red line is probably the one we want to use to try and predict the future. The other thing we can do is we can add a fork, and what we're going to do, if we have some faith in these red action lines, maybe we can draw a fork trend line, try and draw a median line that has some relationship to these red lines. So I'm going to take this low here at the median line there. I'm going to take this pivot point here at the median line and then use the next low pivot, and bang. Okay, what does that tell us? Well, that tells us that this is a good indication of trend, because price is always reverting back to this median line here. The other exciting thing to notice is that price in the past, not only has it been revert back to the median line, but price is always at the cross between the red. Hang on, I'll stop that up. No, I can't get it. Okay, price is always at the cross between the red and the red action-reaction lines and the green median. If we go in the past from there to there, and here it crosses again, do we think price might be at the cross between the red reaction line and the green median line. It looks like that's what it wants to do. And where does price cross up here? Well, there's actually two places there. There's and the other thing to notice is that price is always at these timelines and where the median line crosses. Starting even from there, price is always at the cross between these, where these timelines cross and these red reaction lines cross, action reaction lines cross, and where the median lines cross, price has always been at those convergences. Okay, and if we're going to predict the future, okay, if we go by the timelines and the median line, we've got price there, and it just so happens that that upper time there is actually crossing at another convergence. So, you know, and we drew that in. We drew the fork last. We drew these other lines first. So isn't that amazing? So and you can find other patterns. Price is always at where the green, where the middle line crosses, and where the green these green reaction lines at this one and this one, price is always there as well. There. So it seems that price is magnetizing to this median line, but it's also magnetizing to these action reaction lines, and where they cross, price is really just gravitating to those areas, and that's very exciting. I think that tells me that we have an accurate picture, that this picture we've drawn here has confirmation, it has merit. And so we have price up here with the two green lines are crossed, and by seeing the past here, that price is crossed where these timelines are, these equidistant timelines are here and here, and where price has crossed, you know, between the median and these lines, between the median and the red lines, between this green median and the green action reaction lines, price is magnetizing to these areas. So that allows us, and that sort of clicks in place for us that we have. I mean, we've got a puzzle that's unfolding, that's continually evolving, but in this case, we've put some edges, we put, you know, the edge pieces of the puzzle together and fit them in, and now we're starting to get a picture of maybe what a complete picture would look like up to this point anyway, and we're anticipating that maybe if it's done this in the past, that maybe these are the places of significance. On our chart, and I would, if I had to pick one, I would pick that one at the timeline and the red, because that's been every time. So I'd pick that top time. So yeah, that's and what it also tells us is the price is that this trend is good and this fork is good, and that's where, so even though it's been a bit boring, you could argue that really the price is actually at where this green line, this green trend line is going. So that's maybe it's not so boring when you take a step back and have a look at the bigger picture, which is that there, or that there. When I drag it back down, for the immediate term, we have a look at the stochastics. Oops. Okay, at the moment they're trending down, but they are heading into the oversold area. And the good thing to notice is that the fact that the stochastics have been heading down, but price has remained strong within this narrow band here. So even though it's boring, it's actually quite good and quite strong and healthy. It's me done.